everyone, welcome to my channel. In this video, I am going to share my views and opinions on a very interesting and alarming topic of today, that is unemployment. Yes people, unemployment is a raising concern these days. With a growing population extent, there is a need of employment to each and every talented youth. When the youth are employed, then only the country can grow in each and every step or level it does. As we can say that our nation India is developed to so far extent, and it's crossing all its leaps, bounds and extremities to reach its peak level in the sector of economy as well. So what exactly is the limiting factor here to make the country to downfall? Is that unemployment. Unemployment is a basic strategy or factor which pulls the country in each and every level of economy. And also, to boost this kind of employment processes, we have also created most of the acts, and also government has also given most of its laws and acts to make the young talented youth to be employed. As we have already known that this is a rising problem these days. So what exactly is unemployment? Unemployment is underutilization or low utilization or non-utilization of man work or task or man's power, or underutilization of human resources. It is other way called as involuntary unemployment. It means that even after having ability and will to work appropriately and capably, physically as well as mentally, at a given wages on particular factories or industries, still the people are not getting jobs. But why is the fact of saying? This is what called as unemployment. Not getting a proper job facilities, even after having their capacity or capability to work, to meet the demands of the factories or industries, and also to accept the wages that has been given by the factories and industries. So this is called as unemployment. So there are different types of unemployments, or we can say different factors also result in this unemployment. What are they? There are many, like seasonal unemployment, disguised unemployment, frictional unemployment, educational unemployment, structural unemployment. So what exactly is disguised unemployment? Disguised unemployment means a factory. When you take an example of a factory, let me consider a factory or an industry takes 20 to 30 individuals or laborers to work in their factories or industries. Actually, to meet the demand of the factory and to success in every goals and achieve to every extent, only requirement is required for 20 or 30 laborers. But still, the factories and industries are to that extent that they used to hire more number of laborers, which are actually not required to actually properly work in that job. If the job is accomplished or the demands are accomplished or fulfilled by 20 laborers, why are they taking extent of 50 to 60 laborers? At the same time, joining all of the 50 laborers or joining only 20 laborers does not make any effect in the factory's progressing. It actually do not ruin the complete progressing of the factory. So at the same time, what actually they do is, they test the ability of all the laborers they have taken in count, like 50 or 60, and they only extract 20 laborers. And what is the condition of fate of rest of them? They actually go in vain. They do not get proper employment facility. So in this kind of factor also, disguised unemployment is maintained. Disguised unemployment also calls all the number of youth who are not required or could not meet the demands of the industry or factory. So this kind of unemployment is also a leading factor which actually denotes to the fact of unemployment prevailing in India. When we talk about seasonal unemployment, most of the jobs or the tasks in factories, industries are such that they're on season. If there is arrival of off season, all the kinds of of jobs or tasks and the employed persons will go unemployed. They will pull the jobs of all the employed persons. Like most of the industries which are involved in the works of holiday resorts or ice making industries, they are on season employed industries. Like they work in summers only. Okay, all these kinds of on season works will only limit the workers and give wages to them to the seasonal basis only. When there is arrival of off season, they actually pull the laborers and make them out of work. So unemployment is resulted again here. So when we consider educational unemployment, these days, our colleges, schools, different types of educational tutorials, institutes are such that they're efficient in providing a particular degree in a piece of paper to a student. But they're not making student eligible to so far extent practically that how to attain a job, how to get appropriate oriented jobs. They're not training the students to a proper extent that they are eligible to get a proper job. Classroom teaching is limited only to blackboards and theoretical studies. But practical view of exploring it, exploring the minds, that why they're reading the subject, why they're actually grabbing the content, what actually they have learned from the content or context, what they should learn and what they should know, what they are going to aware other persons by reading this content is not validly described in the classrooms. There is a major mistake done by most of educational institutions. They are utilizing the children for the sake of getting marks and only degrees in a piece of paper. But is this sufficient? Because when we see these days, there is an example of most of the young talented youth with good appropriate degrees in their hands, but they are not getting any correct or appropriate jobs. Why? This is the main question that is asked by me. Why so? They are not getting the practical knowledge of the works or theoretical studies they are going through. That is my point of view. Whatever we read, we should not limit our reading or mugging up through books only. We should get and aware ourselves, our mind, explore our minds to all kind of general knowledges that are going all around us. Because we should know each and everything that is happening in the world. Why we are actually studying the subject. Why we are in this particular career. Why are we holding this particular degree. What kind of job facilities or equipments or facilities we are going to get in future. How can we be the useful citizens of our country. What kind of actual effective facilities and facts we can give to the audience. What, when we join a factory or an industry, what kind of expectation that they demand from us, what exactly they want to receive the knowledge from us is a fact of saying. So most of the institutes fail to exhibit this kind of knowledge. They actually make the students to get better marks and good degrees. But is a percentage of marks and better degrees is only the answer or solution for getting jobs in basic factories or industries? Is it so? Then it's a big no. You should get proper degree with proper knowledge. Exploring your minds, advertising your thoughts, empowering your ideas, and also why you are actually reading the particular subject. What is the content and why it is used so? How to practically use it? When we use it, what are the good deeds and bad deeds we are used to get this from the content? What actually we are going to learn from the content should be known and must be known by all the individual students. We learn a subject to sharp our knowledge and to invent ourselves, to explore our minds and to work in future and be useful citizen to our nation. As we the talented youth, as we all are the backbone of the nation, we can only shape by the word education. So education is not only meant to theoretical studying a subject, it is also involves a practical knowledge of a subject. When we read a subject, we should practice it. We should also involve a knowledge in practicing, actually inventing the ideas practically, that how far is it possible, how far it is impossible, and what is a boon, what is a ban from that. What we are actually getting from that content should be known. These educational institutes are doing that basic kind of thing, which is basically avoiding in different types of institutes. This should be pondered on. This should be focused on to develop the knowledge as well as the caliber of the student. When you develop the caliber of the student or an individual, they get talent to that extent that they can explore not only themselves but also meet the demands of the company. So why not the factories or industries will urge themselves to hire them? Same guys. So if they get the proper talent and knowledge from us, they will surely hire us, right? So why to create such kind of possibility that industries and factories will not hire us? So it's the basic responsibility of each and every educational institute to make a child or a student well educated practically and theoretically, to get perfect job facilities. And when we come to frictional unemployment, it's a kind of unemployment which makes or creates an adjustment or balance between supply of labor and demand of labor. What is a kind of structural unemployment then? Structural unemployment is such kind of unemployment where, as the Indian economy is changing day by day with technological needs and its improvement, so the economic structure also changes to meet the daily needs. So with the change of structure of economy and how to meet the daily needs and how to progress our country to the next level, we should also learn different kinds of techniques and make ourselves sharp so that we could be easily hired by most of the countries, most of the industries and factories. So they could easily hire us and keep us in a particular job. So if we meet the demands of the increasing and varied economy, then only we can structurally and mentally develop ourselves to actually physically fit in a job. So that is the same. So when we come to all these factors actually they aid to create a kind of unemployment. So unemployment is a prevailing problem these days. So actually education plays a very important role. As we already just known that practical kind of knowledge is also important to be explored in the classrooms. And also when we come to the population, India is a very populous country. It has a population extent of over 1 billion. So to meet the human needs, resources, it is developing in each and every level. So what actually is done here is, India being a most populous country, the population is continuously increasing day by day. So to meet that population, unemployment is also a rising problem mutually. So when there is rising of population to meet the needs of the factories and industries, they require land, right, for construction of industries and factories. So when they fetch land and also occupy the lands for building of industries and factories to actually provide jobs and to run efficiently, most of the agricultural land also side by side is getting declining or decreasing. So when this agricultural land is the only form of occupation to the people who are living in the rural areas, who are residing in those areas. In urban areas when we come, most of the people usually migrate from the rural areas to the urban areas with a kind of degree they have to get a proper job and to fulfill all the needs of food, shelter, clothing, and to fulfill the stomach and daily needs. So when they go to or migrate to those areas, what kind of illiterate persons or citizens in the rural areas do? They actually depend on the agricultural resources, agricultural lands. They develop a particular kind of occupation. Most of the farmers, what exactly do they do? When the land is occupied, preoccupied by most of industries, agricultural land is also limited. So how to run a business or a kind of self-employment in that case? So this is also a rising problem these days. When there is unemployment, most of the young talented persons, men and women, not getting proper jobs, even though they have capacity and capability and accept the kind of wages that are provided by the factories or industries. So when there is unemployment problem rising these days, so most of illegal activities are also side by side a matter of fact to take into concern. Like most of the illegal activities, crimes, theft kind of activities, gambling activities, human trafficking, even most of illegal activities that are taking place in our country, that are prostitution centers, are also a result of unemployment. Yes, people. How is it related? As we know that India is a country which gives its values and traditions, which gives its values to the religions, cultures, traditions, and honor to women as well. So as India is also known as the national personification of Mother Goddess or Bharat Mata. Like India is otherwise known as the Bharat Mata. Why? Bharat Mata is also known as the national personification of our country India, who is symbolized by a which is symbolized by women who is draped in a saffron kind of sari holding the national flag. This actually equates or equalizes or symbolizes to a fact of saying that it's a respect, power and honor of the nation. Equally also denotes to the fact of saying that it involves the honor of women as well. So how far is our country giving this kind of value, respect, dignity and honor to the women? Is it progressing day by giving honor and respect to the women? Is my point of question to you people. When this unemployment problem is rising concern, most of the talented eligible women who actually migrate from the rural areas to urban areas to capture or fetch kind of jobs, they fail to get such kind of jobs and also involved in these kind of rackets of prostitution. They go in this kind of illegal paths to fulfill the stomach and to meet the daily needs. So they are bound to do that, to actually fetch some money and maintain their families and to fulfill the stomach by the day. So they are also involved in these type of illegal activities. So when this unemployment process is continuing day by day with increasing population extent, most of these criminal activities, illegal activities, drug abuse activities and also theft activities, prostitution activities are all a rising problem mutually with this kind of problem. So here we can see that how a single problem is rooted as a tree or branched as a tree to different types of problems. One single problem, instead of getting or acquiring a perfect solution to this kind of problem, we are creating a hell lot of problems along with them. Like, so unemployment is not only a problem that is creating a havoc in economic sector, but also there are most of the problems linked with it, like theft kind of activities, criminal activities, prostitution activities. All this, how can they be eliminated? When we the youth get properly trained, educated and also known with all kind of practical knowledge and theoretical knowledge we have in with us, and also when we plan in educated way our future and family, then only our population extent can be limited, and we can also move further with all kind of initiatives that could procure good kind of employment facilities to all the talented youth. So when this unemployment problem is a raising concern, mutually it also carries other problems like criminal activities, illegal activities, all these kinds of activities. So when India is already said as Bharat Mata, the national personification of India, called as Mother India or Bharat Mata, when in the name itself we indicate that the honor of women, dignity of women is the prior cause or the prior thing we should focus on. Then how far is our country giving it to its good or best level? Is our country progressing at every level by giving dignity and security to women? This unemployment problem is also a raising factor that leads to this kind of illegal activities. So to eliminate unemployment, most kind of acts are given by the government, like Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Guarantee Act is given, and also most of the acts like Make in India, India Skill Development, etc. All these kinds of laws and acts have been given in our country, introduced by the government in our country, to actually remove this unemployment concern from our country and back up our youth, most talented youth, to the employment sectors. So government is also working at its best. So what we need to do is we should sharp and train ourselves to do our best to acquire good kind of talent and knowledge by the way or by the side of education, and also we must do our best to actually get the employment process in a successful way. So not only in India, it is a worldwide concern. With the increasing population rate, land is falling short, and population also thriving to most kind of employment facilities which they are not fetching in a proper way. And there are also some kind of people who are well educated, but they actually judge by the kind of tasks or jobs which they get. I can get a, for example, I can get a proper job better than this kind of thinking also is ripping most kind of thoughts and beliefs of employment. Most of the people also, even after getting proper education, the job they get, they also ignore them and say them that this is not a perfect job that I am eligible for. They're skipping the job kind of facilities which they are getting. So this is also a kind of factor that is rising concern in our India, that is leading to a path of unemployment. So unemployment is a basic concern which need to be eliminated to stop all kind of activities, illegal activities, criminal activities. Unemployment is a process which actually makes a person jobless. So when a person stays jobless, ultimately the family gets jobless, and in spite they are not in a proper way to get all kind of facilities. So in terms, the entire nation is struggling in the face of poverty. So more kind of poor families develop here, and all kinds of, in order to fulfill their daily needs like food, shelter, clothing, they used to involve in all kind of criminal activities, theft activities, and also gambling activities, human trafficking activities, to actually make themselves satisfied with all kinds of needs they should have. So when this unemployment is side by side a raising concern, it also arises most of rooted problems like illegal activities. All to stop them, we should stop or limit unemployment thing or factors in our nation. When we boost our nation with good employment facilities to each, which is in a reach to each and every educated youth, then our country will flourish like anything. So economic sector is beaten up by this unemployment practices. To beat all kinds of illegal activities, criminal activities, and to make youth aware and also utilize the youth and human resources to actually empower our nation India, we must also make ourselves good, well educated, and also good at every way to make ourselves better to get or eligible for better education and employment. So our India is doing its best by creating different kinds of laws and acts to actually develop employment practices and to limit the unemployment concerns. So we should also work at our best to do and also give our best. Then only we can improvise our nation each and every sector and way, and also make our nation from a developing to a developed one. So hope you people have understood my video and my sort of concern and opinions. So if you like the video, then please hit the like button and also hit the bell icon for further notification. Do subscribe guys. Okay, thank you. I'm done with today's content. Hope you people have understood. Thank you.